Hello, everyone. Welcome to KTAL News Now. I'm your host, Anthony Mocklin, and today is Monday. It is the start of another week, and we have plenty to talk about involving both local news, national news, and some entertainment if you're looking for things to do this weekend. But first, let's hear from the weather from KTAL meteorologist Josh Marces to get a sneak peek of what we can expect this week.
Hey, I'm meteorologist Josh Marces. It is a new week, and here's some of the weather stories that we'll be watching for you over the next 7 days or so. Obviously, the summer heat will be continuing for us. That is not going away anytime soon by the looks of it here. And as the heat ramps up, the rain will dry up on us. That was one of the reasons we didn't see any heat advisories last week, as we did have some of those just spotty showers and storms to look forward to every day. But after today, that rain really drying up on us this week. So we will see the drought conditions likely worsen, which will lead to some more burn bans as the week goes on. I'll have an update on all this, let you know how warm those temperatures will get in your forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
And to learn more, you can find that on KTALnews.com. But in some local news, a married couple was arrested for allegedly stealing money from an ATM in Texarkana. And KTAL's Ray Maytubby shares more.
On August 4th, around 12:30 p.m., a technician was serving this ATM in Texarkana, Texas, when police say he was approached by two masked individuals. The technician then backed away, leaving the ATM open, which allowed the masked suspects to steal money from the machine.
They then took and went to another car, swapped out, then went to another car, swapped out.
After switching to a second vehicle, Arkansas State Police quickly located the suspect's Honda Accord off East 35th Street. During a search of the car, investigators say they recovered cash believed to have been stolen from the ATM. That discovery became a key break in the investigation, helping lead investigators to the suspects who were arrested just 4 hours after the crime.
4 hours for us to be able to solve basically a whodunit, where these folks pulled up within a mask, and then the series of events past that. I think that speaks highly of the job that our detectives and our officers were able to do, and certainly the agencies that we were working with to make that happen.
Officers feel the timeliness of the arrest sends a very clear message to anyone who decides to commit a similar crime in the future.
You're taking a big chance, obviously, to do that, because even though you may think that you've got it figured out in terms of wearing a mask, swapping cars, doing all that other kind of stuff, the police department's going to do everything they can. They're going to use every tool they have available to them that will help us identify you, and that you're going to be caught.
Ray Maytubby, NBC 6 News.
And to learn more, you can find that on KTALnews.com. But as midterm elections draw nearer, Caddo Parish is facing a shortage of trained election workers. Now, the Caddo Clerk of Court is addressing why this is happening, and they plan to fill the widening gap before it's too late. And KTAL's Alexandra Meacham shares more.
Citizens who willingly serve their neighbors and safeguard the integrity of the democratic process.
Caddo Clerk of Court Mike Spence, along with all poll workers, were honored for their work by the Caddo Parish Commission during Thursday's meeting.
Most of them really don't work for the money. They do it out of the love of the elections.
Spence explains that love for elections is being lost by the next generation. So the parish is tapping one of its resources, the Director of Communications, Crystal Beecham, to help.
You have made your superstar Crystal available to us to start working on a better campaign to get more election commissioners. We were 85 precincts short. 85 precincts in this parish did not have enough workers.
Spence says they've tried to entice people to apply, but more are leaving than joining.
Given the political climate that we're in, what do you think that is causing us to have such a shortage?
Basically, all of the commissioners that we have been working for 20 to 30 years, and now they're unable to work.
He says there are few poll commissioners under 40.
The early voting sites are the resolution to a lot of this.
He says when the commission reduced the number of precincts from 160 to 128, it helped take the load off Election Day, which is the most difficult.
From the delivery draymen that deliver the machines to 40-year-old machines that are breaking down, there's just a lot going on.
As the parish works to gain younger election workers, they remind it does pay.
How much is the money?
It's $200.
Okay.
The governor passed a May bill that says they may get a raise. And When the budget allows it, then they might get one.
He says federal election shifts run 11 to 12 hours, but breaks are included.
We're not hard on them. They can go outside, smoke their cigarette or whatever they want to do.
Okay.
Just not have a drink, because I'm sure they want to have a drink.
Okay.
And Spence says they've made it as easy as possible to apply to become a trained election worker. You just have to visit cadoclerk.com, where you can take the test online, and you only have to attend one in-person class, and then you are certified. And he says they usually respond to applications within 24 hours. But to learn more, you can find it on KTALnews.com. But fire officials are laying down the do's and don'ts when it comes to burn bans in your area. And KTAL's Ray Maytubby got to speak with Shreveport Fire Prevention to learn more.
This may not look dangerous, but firefighters do say with conditions this dry, a single cigarette spark could create a massive wildfire. That's why officials are encouraging residents to think twice before doing anything that could create a flame.
So a very small spark or a flame from a cigarette can cause a very big fire. The big ones are caused by something little.
We're in peak summer right now, so you know the grills and barbecue pits are out. Even with that comes safety concerns that you may not even be aware of.
So if you're grilling with open flames, you want to abide by a 10 by 10 rule. So that is 10 feet away from a structure and then 10 feet minimum from anything above you. Porch, patio, things like that. You want to make sure there's no combustible vegetation, and then you want to make sure that you actually extinguish the hot charcoal and the coals that you're using prior to dumping them into a trash can.
In the city of Shreveport, you need a permit through the fire department to do any open burning activities, commercial or residential. Failing to do so can result in fines, a summons, or even jail time.
One of the biggest mistakes is not knowing if there's a burn ban in place. So no matter where you live in the Arklatex, you want to check with your local jurisdiction. Parishes, counties, cities, they all have different laws and ordinances and rules to follow.
An easy way to check for burn bans across the Arklatex, go to our website at KTALnews.com. Just look under the weather tab. For NBC6, I'm Ray Maytubby.
And in education news, as schools begin to welcome students back to the classroom, some are also welcoming new leadership. And KTAL's Mata Drain got to speak with the new principal of C.E. Byrd High School.
To let you in on a little secret, the principals of Byrd High School keep this nameplate on our desk. And every time there's a new principal, we add the name to the back, and it's a gift that we send from one principal to the next.
Jenna Panos is one of 11 new principals across Caddo Parish for the 2026-2027 school year. A product of C.E. Byrd with nearly 2 decades in education, she's ready to lead the school's next chapter. Panos says her goal is to honor Byrd's long-standing traditions while preparing students for the future.
We are going to maintain and build on our traditions, but we're also going to focus on modernizing our approach and evolving and progressing in the ways that we need to.
She wants every student and staff member to feel welcomed and supported on campus.
And I told them to look around, that these are going to be your classmates and your support system for the next 4 years. And we want what's best for you, whatever you choose to do after high school.
As new leaders take their places across the district, Panos believes it's an opportunity for growth and new ideas.
There are so many new leaders in places, and I trust that Caddo Parish has chosen intentionally the right leaders to be in the right places. And to me, this is a fresh start.
And as she begins her fresh start, she's also sharing advice for others stepping into leadership roles and those looking to elevate.
Every decision I make for our teachers and students, which by the way is my prayer in the car on the way to school every morning, is that I am making the right decisions and that I remember what it was like to be in the classroom, both as a student and a teacher. So that's just something I would encourage any new leader to keep in mind. And my advice would also be to find a mentor. I had wonderful mentors at Byrd, and they gave me the space to grow as a leader, and I'm forever grateful for that.
And to learn more, you can find that on KTALnews.com. But in some entertainment news, Stage Center will present its final main stage production of its 15th anniversary season, Dear Evan Hansen. And I got to speak with the person who is playing Evan Hansen himself, Christian Perkins, ahead of the production.
So I started acting when I was around, I think my first show was with Stage Center, and I was like maybe 7. It was Lion King. and I stuck with them for a really long time. I really enjoyed like the way they taught. They taught me everything I know. And then I moved to New York to pursue theater in New York at Pace University. I'm going to be a junior in college now. And yeah, so it's been great. They kind of gave me everything I had. They're the people who showed me New York, and like I love those guys, and they've been with me since I was like 7.
Yeah, so you said you went to college in New York after previously being with Stage Center, and now you're back. Is this kind of like a homecoming for you? Like, how special is this for you?
Yeah, it's been really nice. I mean, like coming back to do such a big show, such a like a well-renowned show, especially like after being in New York for so long. It's been really great. It feels like coming back home. Yeah.
So, how did your experience in New York kind of help you prepare for not only this role, but just beyond in like your career?
Oh, I mean, being in New York is just it's hectic. It's a lot that's going on. So like after being somewhere that is so different and so much like everything's being thrown at you and being back here, you kind of relax and like just do the job. It's been really great.
Now, this show, Dear Evan Hansen, has won several different awards, several Tonys. It won a Grammy for Best Musical Theater Album. I guess, in your opinion, how does it kind of stack up versus like other musicals?
I mean, the dialogue and the music in the show is like really beautiful. Like it's been hard to learn, but like truthfully, it is such a rewarding like piece of music and such a rewarding like show to put on. It's really heartfelt. It's really heartwarming. I think you guys will love it.
And when it comes to auditioning for roles like this, I guess, like, do you go into it having this character in mind? Like, oh, I really want to play this character. Like, I guess, like, what was your reaction once you found out that you were going to be the lead?
Well, it's like for me, they kind of had an idea that they wanted someone who was younger and like, but not too young to be playing this. So they told me a while ago that they were planning on doing the show, and then I had to kind of like start working on it and like and let them know that I can do it. And then once like they trusted me that I could be able to do it, they let me know that I got it, and it was great.
Now, this is the last main stage show of the Stage Center's 15th anniversary season. I guess, how does it feel to lead a show like this and to be able to put kind of like a bow on this season?
I mean, it's really great. I think I'm really grateful that they trust me enough to like end the season like this. I think it means I have to step up and like do my job. But I think the show is great, and I think what we put together is great, and I'm glad that it could be the last show of the season.
Now, for any aspiring actors out there, I guess, what advice would you give to them or offer them if they want to kind of pursue something, whether it's in the stage or TV or movies or anything like that?
One thing I would say is that the hardest part is that you're gonna hear no a lot, and that you have to keep going. Like you can never stop. You're gonna hear no, but the people who don't make it are the people who stop trying. So keep trying.
And do you yourself have any favorite musicals or movies or shows that kind of inspired you or that you really think about often?
I was really into like Disney as a kid. I loved High School Musical. I loved Descendants. I loved like stuff like that. I really thought I'd get into like film more, but as like time went on, that type of like medium died. So musical theater was more like accessible. So yeah, like movie musicals I used to love. That was my favorite thing as a kid.
And where can people get more information or get their tickets or things like that?
If you go to stagecenterla.com, you can get everything you need. You can go to you can press like Evan Hansen, they'll have a text website, and you can find everything you need there.
And is there anything that we didn't cover that you wanted to touch more on or highlight or give a shout out to?
No, I mean, shout out to everyone in this cast. Shout out to everyone who's been doing everything to make this show the best it is, because it really is a great show, and I hope everyone can come see it.
Yeah, I went to the last edition for Hadestown, which was the teen edition. I know it's like kind of a little bit different, but as far as the quality of the shows, the set pieces, and everything like that, it really is something special. So I'm very, very excited. I definitely plan to attend, so I'm excited.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you there.
And don't forget, it opens this Friday, August 14th, and it runs through the 16th on Sunday at Marjorie Lyons Playhouse on Centenary College's campus. And for tickets, you could visit stagecenterla.com, or for more information, you can find that on KTALnews.com. Now let's take a look at the full forecast from KTAL meteorologist Josh Marcis to see what we can expect with a very, very hot week ahead of us.
Yeah, meteorologist Josh Marcis, and this is your Monday midday weather update as we are once again on track to reach the mid-90s this afternoon. We lived through this day quite a bit last week where we had those highs in the mid-90s and just those slight rain chances, and we'll see that again today. The problem this week is just that rain is going to dry up on us here, so these numbers will get higher and higher by the end of the week, but we're pretty close to average today. We'll be at about 96 this afternoon in areas like Shreveport as well as Texarkana, and there is enough humidity, even though we've been fairly dry in most locations for the last few weeks here, with the exception of the rain that we had in the northern Arklatex this weekend, but enough humidity that the heat index, or the true feel to these temperatures, will be just above 100 or so this afternoon. We saw that all of last week, and again, in our part of the country, 105, and that is the trigger for the heat advisory anytime that heat index is expected to reach 105, and you can see the heat advisories are kind of closing in on us here, so I think it's just a matter of time. Probably by Wednesday or Thursday, we'll begin to see those return here, and that will kick off a run of days for probably at least a week that we are dealing with either the heat advisories or the extreme heat warnings, which we sometimes get as well. So prepare for that if you have anything to take care of outside. Just try to do that in the next few days before the heat really ramps up by the middle of the week. Now, the sea breeze looking fairly active early in the day today. You can see some of those showers down on the coastline here. The hope is that we can pull in just a few of these south of Interstate 20 today, and again, the sea breeze may deliver just a little bit of rain for areas like Sabine and Natchitoches parishes today, but it will stir up some clouds, so if you're working outside, it won't be just that completely sunny, scorching sunshine all day. We'll have some partly cloudy conditions to offer you some shade here and there, but you'll notice as we go through the week, this is a look at Tuesday, that rain is completely drying up on us, and same thing Wednesday. Really hard to find any rainfall in the outlook here, so that means the temperatures are on their way up, and you can see the rainfall map here over the next 10 days or so, really not painting in too much. So not only will this dry stretch go through this week, but it does appear that we're going to see this dry weather for much of next week as well. So we are going to settle in close to 100 here by the end of the week and probably the weekend as well. And this will be the story to keep an eye on. Obviously, we've had a number of burn bans issued over the last week or two, and we'll continue to see these pop up as the week goes on here. We added Sevier County in Arkansas recently, but would expect we'll see more of these by the end of the day and as the week goes on here. Unfortunately, the rain that we had over the weekend, while beneficial, just not enough to wipe out a lot of these burn bans here. So look at your 7-day forecast. You can see after today that the rain completely dries up on us, and our temperatures by Thursday likely in the upper 90s there and maybe close to 100 through the weekend, with overnight lows in the 70s.
And for everything Your Weather Authority, you can find that on KTALnews.com. But in some national news, one of our former reporters, Dominique Jocelyn, went viral for sleeping on the job. But instead of receiving backlash, she got a ton of support from other working moms. And KTAL's Elisha Gatewood got to speak with her about everything that happened.
You were a little tired, you were a little tired. You coming back from maternity leave. So your recent on-air moment sparked a little bit of national conversation. We know about working moms. We know that you're a mom of 2. You just came back from maternity leave. So what was going through your mind when that happened? What were you guys talking about? She was tossing back to you, and I mean, you were just face planted in the hands gone. Just talk us a little bit about, the morning that led up to that moment on air.
All right, so it was a rough morning. The night before, I had my toddler, she's 2, and my 8-month-old. My 8-month-old, she was teething, so I'm trying to get them to go to sleep at 8 o'clock. My toddler, she was tired because she stays up all day running around, but my 8-month-old, she was not interested in going to sleep because she was in so much pain. Yeah. And I'm trying to console her. I'm giving her teething medicine. Nothing is really working. And the next thing I know, it's just getting later and later. And when you work on the morning show, at least for me, I'm always looking at the time, and I'm just like calculating how much time I'm going to get to sleep. And once it was 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I was like, okay, I'm only going to get to sleep like an hour, like a few hours, a couple hours, a few hours, and I'm going to try and power through the next morning. And many people are asking, oh, where was Dominique's husband? Well, to answer that question, he was working a double at BNSF Railway. So he was working from 7 in the morning until 11 p.m. at night.
Ooh, I don't know how you do it. My show is only 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah, and 30 minutes is like, I'm just like, oh, that was a breeze. When I just have to anchor the 4:30, I'm like, oh, it's over already?
Yeah.
5.5 hours. I'm like,
yeah.
nodding off.
No, I get you exactly. Sometimes I've had to fill in for the morning show, and that would, that's like 3 hours straight of just talking, and having to wake up. Oh, trust me, I get you.
And to see the full interview, including a trip down memory lane when she worked at KTAL, you can download our smart TV app, KTAL Now, which is available on Apple TV, Roku, and Fire Stick. But for more information, you can find that on KTALnews.com. Over in sports news, as we are getting ready for high school football, the Huntington Raiders enter year 2 under head coach John Simon, and they are bringing back one of the most experienced senior classes in the area. And KTAL's Sam Brunsman shares more.
3 wins, 7 losses. On paper, Huntington's 2025 season doesn't jump off the page. But inside the program, there's a different perspective heading into this season.
We're doing more conditioning before practice, conditioning after practice, prepare our guys for a fourth quarter fight. I think last year we was more focused on the details and discipline of the game and doing our assignments. We're more confident in the guys knowing the assignments this year, so now our focus is going to be on finishing games.
Simon says the foundation is stronger than when he arrived, built around the program's motto called PRESS, which stands for purpose, respect, effort, service, and sacrifice.
That speaks to who we are. When life gets hard, we tell them to press. When school gets hard, press. So when it comes to football, when football gets hard, we want them to press. And just remember what the acronym stands for. It's important for our kids and for us who we are as a program and the direction we're headed.
That culture is being led by a group of around 30 seniors, including all-district linebacker Braden Cummings.
I believe we could take another step forward because of Coach Simon. He's really been putting a lot of effort in the team, new equipment, having us out here every day, working on new things, learning new things. We've really been putting that work in, a lot of sweat, a lot of blood, even a couple tears. Yeah, I think we can accomplish a lot this year.
With that experience, Huntington believes it's ready to take the next step.
It allows us to challenge them. It allows us to be harder on them. It allows us to hold them to a higher standard because we do have an older bunch that has the experience, again, so we don't have to focus on the X's and O's anymore. We can focus on the details and discipline.
Reporting at Huntington, I'm Sam Brunsman.
And Huntington will open the season at home versus Calvary Baptist on Thursday, September 3rd at 7 p.m. But to learn more, you can find it on KTALnews.com. But speaking of high school football, Loyola Prep had one of its best seasons ever by every metric last year in terms of wins, offense, and defense. But their title dreams were cut short last year, and they are looking to change things this season. And KTAL's Chris Burns shares more.
It certainly wasn't the end of the season they were hoping for when their quarterback Bryce Restovich couldn't suit up for their final playoff game.
If a dog's chained up and he wants some food, and you just slap it right in front of him. Like, it's like I wanted to be out there so bad. I didn't feel good at all, but I would have muscled through it if I could have.
But he's back, and the expectations are sky high.
State champs. I think state championships.
Why wouldn't they have those aspirations? Led by their QB, who averaged more than 300 yards and nearly 4.5 touchdowns per game, their offense was one of the best in the state. Starting as a freshman, now entering his senior season, Restovich has flourished with each rep.
Coming in as a freshman, though, it was kind of impressive that, he did have those kind of intangibles of being a leader. He wasn't maybe as vocal, but he was always a hard worker. He understands the offense. I've let him call some 7-on-7 games and just to take it on his own. He's done a great job.
With each season comes new challenges. This year's battle, replacing majority of what Coach Sella says is the hardest thing to overhaul, the offensive line.
Having to replace basically 4 of those guys this year is tough, but the guys that we've had come up have had a great summer. We feel good about where they're at.
We were in the same position last year. I'm not worried about it at all. These guys work hard, so I expect the same thing as last year. I mean, they're all going to work hard, so no doubt about it. It hasn't been too difficult. Most of these guys, they were at least, second team last year, and now it's finally their turn to step up and be on varsity.
That next man up mentality for the Flyers continues as they move JT Taylor from cornerback to running back this season. He compared his running back skills to the NFL's King Henry.
I haven't seen him have a stiff arm yet, but
he is not Derrick Henry, but he is a big guy. JT is a big guy. If he understands how big he is and using that to his advantage and just drag people in stiff arms, I think he could do that because he's a big back there for a high school guy.
He's a hard runner. He's very elusive. He's a really big guy, so if you're going to wrap up, I'd wrap up pretty hard.
In their 10 wins last year, the team only allowed 18 points per game. With that expectation set, they're ready to continue to grow.
If we continue that idea, we want to be bend but don't break, and also force turnovers. We want to be ball hawks, and so that's kind of what we're preaching to. And you can always stand to be more physical, but we preach that toughness. And so if they can kind of continue that trend of being tough, being physical, and forcing turnovers, I think we can be pretty good.
And Loyola Prepper opened their season on the road versus Captain Shreve on Friday, September 4th. But for more, you can learn that on KTALnews.com. But that is all the time I have for today's edition of KTAL News Now. Be sure to tune in each and every day, Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. on KTALnews.com, which is also where you can get all of your local breaking and trending news stories. But for now, I'm Anthony Mocklin. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you for joining us.